It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. You know, about a year ago, I did a video, and the title of the video is, what assets do you currently have that you could go into the marketplace and get revenues outside of your core deliverable? What assets do you have that you use for your core deliverable that you could go outside of that core deliverable and collect revenue and profits? Because obviously, if you're in the document imaging channel, the core deliverable of print is definitely falling off a cliff. The supplies the customers use are definitely falling off a cliff. So the industry's being pressured, right? And so what assets do you have? And folks, there was a press release by my good friends over at Lexmark. A couple of days ago, they made a big announcement. They introduced Optra IoT. Optra IoT, I don't know if y'all read that press release. A lot of you might have read the press release and said, well, this is fantastic, but how does it help me? How does it help me sell more print equipment? Well, it doesn't. I mean, it frankly doesn't. Because Lexmark looked at their assets and said, what else can we do with these assets that we have? How else can we generate revenue and profits outside of the core deliverable of print? And ladies and gentlemen, it's a very interesting product. And when Lexmark kicked this off in the press release, they use a word in that press release, and that word is extremely important. And today I want to get on my Sharp Interactive board. I want to share with you a portion of a video I did about a year ago where I used the same word. I'm not saying that Lexmark watched my video and invented this. Maybe it is. Maybe I helped them a little bit. Who knows? You never know. You never know who's watching the end of the day with Ray. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let me get on my Sharp Interactive board. Let me play this snippet in the video, and then I want to talk more about this because this is really big news. So ladies and gentlemen, the first thing I want to do is I want to show you all a sensor. We know what a sensor is, right? I mean, sensors, there's all kinds of sensors on copy machines, right? You know, sensors, giving information to DCA tools, pretty exciting stuff when you're in the print world, right? But what if you're not in the, what if you want to use that technology outside the print world? And here we go with our friends over at Lexmark. So without any further ado, I want to play the snippet of this video. Listen hard. DCA tools. Well, these DCA tools, what do? They collect information from a sensor on a machine, and then they feed that information back to other technologies or to a human to cause an action. That's what they do. They collect information from a sensor, right? DCA tools collect information from a sensor. Use that information and solve a problem with technologies or a human. Fantastic news. Here we go. Lexmark. What do? Let's go to their press release, folks. I mean, this is awesome stuff. Lexmark reinvents how manufacturers use IoT with launch of Optra IoT solutions. Listen to their president, Alan Wagemeyer. Hey, Lexmark figured out we unleashed the power of IoT and built a solution that we have used for years in our own business to achieve measurable benefits for our customers and ourselves. Folks, this is exciting stuff. The first offering available today is the Lexmark Opera IoT platform, a ready-made IoT solution to help customers jumpstart their business transformation, creating better products and more advanced services at lower cost. Now, I will say, Lexmark, like all the other OEMs, when they do a press release, they put all kinds of buzzwords in there. But there's one word that's in there that got me all excited, so let me just scroll this thing down. I got to get my Sharp Interactive board working here. I got to get my magic pen in my hand. I'm going to circle the word real big for you. But it's in this paragraph here, folks. Lexmark built an IoT platform to run its award-winning global managed print services business, a leader in the industry. The platform successfully harnessed performance and sensor data from the devices that Lexmark manufactures and manages, combining it with data from core business systems to deliver powerful insights. Core business systems. Those core business systems don't have to be print core business systems. They could be XYZ manufacturing core business solutions, tied to sensor technology, tied to AI. Holy smokes, can you imagine? Folks, this is exciting stuff. You got a print OEM out there that's using the assets that they have, that they used. I mean, let's be honest. Lexmark was one of the very first OEMs, if not the first. They probably invented it. The cloud technology to manage, to do predictive maintenance, to help dealers solve problems on MFPs through a cloud platform. I've talked about that on the end of the day with Ray. I've had the Lexmark folks who manage the cloud platform on the end of the day with Ray. This was great stuff, right? They're using that technology to go outside of print. They're saying, hey, we got to take the assets we have and figure out how we can make additional revenues and money, because right now, guess what? Print's in a world of shit, and we all know it, right? Ladies and gentlemen, this is exciting news, and I'm hoping that the dealers out there are paying attention. I'm hoping that they're paying attention to the reality that these OEMs are diversifying themselves. These OEMs are looking at the assets they have, and they're trying to figure out what are they going to do with these assets. I've been beating the crap out of the OEMs because they're not, consolidating. We've talked about that probably more than anybody wants to hear about it. But I assure you they're having conversations. I assure you they're looking at technology and trying to figure out how to use these technologies in different ways. I mean, if they weren't, they'd be nuts. Lexmark's proven they are looking at technologies. When I look at my friends over at Xerox and we see what they're doing with their Care AR products as an example. So the industry is looking outside the box. And folks, I hope this is teaching you as a dealer to look outside the damn box. We can't get printers right now because of chips, right? We can't get toner right now because factories burned down, whatever the reason is. Our core deliverable of print is stressed like it's never been stressed before, but I want to ask everybody a question. Who's it really stressing out? End users? Or the industry that sells the products and supplies those products? Folks, in all reality, the stress is on the industry that sells and services those products. I mean, we've all heard on the news the crises that are going on around not getting chips. Like people can't buy cars is a great example. You hear all the time on the news, man, we can't buy a car. Cars are so damn expensive. I haven't heard one news interview from any person in the world. Yeah, it's a real bitch. I mean, we're trying to upgrade our copier fleet, our MFP fleet, and we just can't get the equipment. Our provider just doesn't have the devices. It's a crisis over here. No, we're hearing things like we can't refresh our police car fleet. That's kind of a crisis for a municipality, right? I assure you the fact that they got to wait a little longer to get their MFPs is not putting them out of business. This is the problem with our industry. All the problems about our deliverable are about us. Salespeople can't make any money if you don't have any equipment that we can sell to the marketplace, even though the marketplace doesn't really care to get any of the equipment. Now, I know there's one-offs out there where people need some equipment, folks, but that's not an industry. The bottom line is, I hope y'all are learning from the press release that came out from Lexmark. Hope y'all are learning that you have to look at what the assets you have are and how could you recapitalize those assets. Folks, this is reality. Because the print equipment, its supplies and its services, is never going back to where it was, regardless of some fantasy you might have that it is. And as we start to see the consolidation of the OEMs, as we start to see the other things these OEMs do with some of their assets, hopefully it'll enlighten you to do some of these same things. Because ladies and gentlemen, every single one of you knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.